Hello everyone and welcome to this pick a card reading video. In this video, we will be determining if you have a smart business idea or is this idea that you have not a smart business idea. For some of you, this could apply to you if you are thinking about starting a business. And just in general, you might even want to know if you should start a business. For some of you, this is about if you already have a business and you're just wondering about this next move or a certain idea you would like to incorporate. And for some of you, it could even mean that you've already ended your business endeavor, but you're thinking about maybe going back to it. All of that will be answered and more in this video, but here is stack 1A, stack 2B, stack 3C, stack 4D. You can pause if you'd like and if you need some more time to figure out which stack you're most drawn to. If you are not drawn to any of the stacks, that's completely fine. This just might not be the pick a card reading video for you, but I have plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel. As a reminder, everything I talk about and discuss in this video is for entertainment purposes only and cannot be stated as fact. Alright, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The cards pulled here are 9 of Wands in reverse, Ace of Wands upright, the Hierophant in reverse, Page of Swords upright, 5 of Pentacles upright, and Strength card in reverse. And then we have Gratitude list. Counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of fixated on worries in your mind. What and who are you grateful for right now? Keep focusing upon gratitude, and you'll discover the amazing prosperity of this universe. And then we have 33, so 33 could be a lucky number for you all during this time, or as it relates to your business idea, or just in general for you. 33, tomorrow looks promising. So, right off the bat, I love that we have the Ace of Staffs, or the Ace of Wands here, because it indicates to me that you all have the passion for this. And with the Page of Swords, it makes me think that this is something you've told other people about. You've told other people about this business idea. For a lot of you, I think you probably haven't started a business yet. Or you're in the very, very early stages of it. Although if that isn't the case for you, you can still interpret the messages, like incorporate them into your own life, but then just in a different scenario, right? Different circumstances. It feels that here, it's very obvious that a lot of you probably don't have the money to fully start a business or this specific business. You know, there's a lot that goes into a business, such as building a website, potentially having to hire employees or pay for contractors, design artwork, get the logo, get the paperwork done through your state so that you're an official business. And I'm sure that most of the people who have chosen this stack have not gone to business school and that you don't know how all of this necessarily works. I also get the sense that you probably don't come from a family that has like a family business. If and even if that's the case, it's probably more so, older generations didn't have to do as much. Like they probably don't deal with the social media of it all. But in this day and age, if you want to be able to have a thriving business, you usually now need a thriving social media as well to be engaging and all of that. And there's a lot more, obviously, that goes into starting and maintaining a business now as opposed to like 100 years ago, most definitely. But with the Knight of Wands in reverse being here, and with the Strength card in reverse, and those are the first and last cards here for the tarot cards, it makes me think that a lot of you are scared to do this. I'm glad that we have Ace of Wands upright, so we are shown that you have the passion, that you have the vision, and that there are things you clearly want in a business or for this business idea that you want to have happen. Like you're very much passionate about it. It's not just something that you would do for a money grab. This is something that you actually very much enjoy. Hierophant reverse can indicate that this is something that is very out of the box. Like if somebody starts a business for a vegan restaurant in a town that's very full of meat eaters and people, like, are anti-vegan, you know, like, I could see you doing something that is different in that way or like, different from the people around you. So the people around you in your community might not support you, which is also why it's important for you to have a good social media presence if you plan on maintaining this business is what I'm seeing. Because yeah, people in your direct environment might not be on board with the vision that you have, but I could see other people who live elsewhere being on board. So that's why also with that Page of Swords, if you want this business idea to work, and I'll get to if this is a smart business idea, right? But if you want this business idea to work, then you have to be able to promote yourself on socials, I'm seeing. And you also have to be able and willing to network with a lot of people. It could be people, I'm not getting a sense that it has to be people in this line of work or business that you are wanting to do. I see it just being anybody. It could even be people in your community, but just networking with other like-minded individuals and maybe having a similar-ish line of work, but not completely the same. So then, you know, you can refer like your clientele, for example, or your shoppers to somebody else and they can do the same for you if they're looking for something specific. And I see this though being something that you don't have the funds for now with that Five of Pentacles upright. I think if you want for this business idea to work, you should probably have to save up a lot of money or be okay with going into debt is the way this comes across. And based off of how it's being read, I think going into debt for your situation, like taking out a loan or mini loans, wouldn't be the way to go. So it's really interesting, and with, like I already said, the Nine of Wands reversed and the Strength card reversed, I feel like this is something that you're scared to do for some reason, and I think it's just because it's like a leap of faith. This very much is reading as something that's risky, something that may not work in the end, or it may not pay off, and it may not go very far. But I will say, in terms of if this is a smart business idea, I'll say it's not a bad business idea, but it's also not a smart business idea. I think a lot of you have very big ideas for how you want this business idea to go. Spirit is saying, how I am interpreting this spread is that you would be able to act on this business idea if you tone it back a bit. If you don't go like full force, you don't need to like fully have everything established as you get started. What this reminds me of is, you know, I'm in the holistic space and there are people who never even have their own websites. They just completely do everything on social media or through like YouTube, through TikTok, Instagram, and they have people pay them through PayPal. And if messaging needs to happen, you can email them or like contact them through their social media account instead of having like a full website because that's expensive, right? Or having or going you know, there are tarot readers and Reiki practitioners who go in person to actual brick and mortar shops, but then they have to pay a fee to the people who are running those shops. And then what if you don't even get like hardly any or even any at all business that day? And then you're just like paying these people money that you didn't even get money earned that day. So I think there are things to think about in terms of that, in terms of how you can scale it back to make it a smart business idea. Because I think how you have it laid out now, it's not very smart, especially I think before you fully tap into this business idea too, you should really educate yourself because I don't get the sense that you um know as much as you should for this, whether it's the business side of things or it's the actual expertise that you would relay through this business idea. It seems like for a lot of you, it relates more so to the finances and to the actual business side of it. Like getting a tax consultant too. The Hierophant in reverse makes me think further that you don't have the foundations needed to build upon this business idea. So I think there's a lot more planning that will need to be done and a lot more saving of money. And I see it being something that spirit can see you doing, but not right now. And I know it says tomorrow looks promising, but I think that with this messaging, Spirit is wanting you to take it day by day. The Page of Swords makes me nervous. It makes me think that you all feel like you need to do this right away. And also with the Strength card reverse, I think a lot of you would easily get burnt out on this idea, which could also end up happening anyway. I think a lot of you, once you realize you don't, if you don't want to pay other people for more of the business side of things or the taxes side of things, anything logistical, then if you're not willing to do that, then Spirit is saying this isn't a smart business idea for you. But if you are willing to like hire professional help or take classes and still be able to do more of the business side of things, Spirit is saying that it can be a smart business idea as long as you still tone it back. And yeah, I'm seeing don't act upon this right away. This isn't something you should do right away. And with the gratitude list, I think Spirit is saying that paired with especially that tomorrow looks promising, Spirit wants you to take it day by day. Think about little things you can do every day, especially because I think, a lot of you aren't quitting your jobs to do this, right? Unless this is part of your business idea already. But really feels like more new business ventures here. So like a new business or company fully. So um what was I just gonna say? Oh yeah, so taking things day by day, step by step, and uh oh, and I was saying a lot of you probably are still working. So Spirit's saying to be smart with your time, because I think if a lot of you are trying to rush through things, if you're like, okay, I have like 2 hours tonight, so I'm gonna get as much done as possible, Spirit wants you to have the opposite idea of that. They don't want you to think like that. They want for you to not think, oh, I should get as much done as possible within these 2 hours. They want you to think, how can I learn and grow within these 2 hours, even if I don't get much done? They want you to slow down a bit. They want you to really take a look back. And I think a lot of you run the risk of making mistakes or taking a misstep uh, if you rush along this process, or I'm not getting a sense either that you should make a set date for this. This is something that will develop over time that you can continue, because again, I don't know how long, and I don't think you know how long it will take for you to fully learn everything you need to learn before you tap into this business idea. So, however long it takes is what Spirit is saying. However long it takes you to develop this side of yourself that's maybe more business oriented, tapping into that and figuring out how, like, the legalities. You don't want to get into any legal trouble. I think some of you could run the risk of that. So Spirit wants you to think step by step, and also they don't want you to lose on money. Right now, if you were to do this, you will definitely lose on money. Spirit wants you to take your time with this. So then once you develop the skills needed or attain the knowledge that is needed, then Spirit wants you to still keep calm and not jump right into things. They still want for you to look around for the best option is the best way it makes sense. Like, if somebody wants to open up a restaurant or a bakery, it's like scouting out which location is the cheapest, not too far away from where you work, um, if it's in a good neighborhood, if it's good for parking, thinking about all those things. I think a lot of you need to write out detailed plans and detailed lists, but not plans that involve time. More so, I would say lists then, and also itemized lists. Is that like how you would say like the materials that are needed so that you don't miss out on anything? I think a lot of you run the risk of that of not only making mistakes but like missing things. It's like you're not thinking about something and then later on if you need that material or if you need that skill, you're like, oh, okay, well, I didn't think about that. So Spirit wants you to think about every single thing. And for a lot of you, this could be something that's more of a new idea too. But I will say, I feel like this is something you've thought about for a while, but maybe you've only just started taking this thought seriously lately. Um, and I really do think this is something that probably a lot of you would have to enlist the help of other people. I don't think I know I said earlier you could learn to do these things yourself. You still should learn to do things yourself, but I feel like there's still in some area, a necessity to hire help, and that could be day-to-day help, or it could just be like every once in a while, such as a tax consultant, right? There's somebody that you need, somebody, multiple people, whatever, that you need to enlist the help of, or else this is definitely going to crumble and fall. People who could give you good advice, people who have been through a similar situation as you, or people who have established even their own businesses. That's why networking will be important. If you ask people like, business owners, small business owners, how they got on their feet, what they did. And I see, though, like I said earlier, networking with people who aren't specifically in the same line of work as you, I see that actually being beneficial for you. And that's probably also just because, like, around you, you don't have many people doing the things that you want to do. It could also be that a lot of you, if you want to be like a small business owner, if you're doing something like selling on Etsy, right? Then, oh, wait, I have to bring this up because when I think about that, it makes me think of side gigs. For some of you, this could be, Spirit is saying too that you should start out maybe doing this as a side gig, not a full-time gig, even if it means, you have to, your free time is more occupied by this. Spirit's saying if you really truly want this, then you will be able to make it work. So think about making this more of a side gig, part-time gig before making it a full-time gig, if that is how you're thinking about it. If a lot of you have already been thinking about making this only like a side gig, then this is just confirmation for that then. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so let's say you sell something on Etsy, so maybe you don't have many people that you do everything yourself, but you don't know how to like keep records of taxes and all that. You can just hire somebody. There's somebody, or you can contact another person who's does something similar-ish enough to you on Etsy who maybe lives in your area, and you can maybe have a phone call and be like, hey, what is it that you do, and like what is it that you wish you knew before you started selling on Etsy? That's just an example. So all in all, I don't think Spirit is saying this is a bad business idea, but it's not smart. It's more neutral, but kind of leaning more towards bad. If I had to say, then it's just a little bit of a bad business idea, but I see this being good in the future, not anytime soon. I could see this being good in the future if you take into consideration everything that I have said. And with the Five of Pentacles, it makes me think that this might be something that's never really sustaining. So then in that case, Spirit is saying you can still do this, but make sure it's not your full-time job, or make sure you're not putting all of your life savings into this or all of your time and energy into this. And it can still be something you do, but it's just not like your main source of income. Maybe you don't even make money from it. But Spirit's saying because a lot of you really want to do this, it's something that you're passionate about, that doesn't mean you can't do it. But I think a lot of you would get discouraged with me saying that. So if that, you got to consider all these things. So if that's something that scares you, me saying that, then maybe this isn't something that will be fully profitable, but it's something that you would still enjoy. If you're in it more for the money, then I think that shows, even if it's 51% to 49%, then that shows that this isn't something that you truly enjoy enough, right? So, not the best business idea, not the worst, but slightly bad, neutral bad. Check in. I would say, I know it says tomorrow looks promising, just take it day by day. I don't even want to say, usually with these kinds of things, they give like a time frame, but I would say give it some years down the road, okay? And then if you're still like questioning if you should keep doing this, then maybe that means it's time to stop, or maybe that means it's time to switch things up. But I wouldn't worry about time frames except for just be patient, keep going, but take your time. But some of you maybe will stop now and be like, okay, well, before I even get started, I'm just gonna stop, or before I keep going, I'm gonna um not try to be too much in debt. And see, is there anything else other than that I have to say? I think that's good. I think I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, 1A, for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack, and you can update your comment in the future if you'd like to have if you have any updates for us all to read. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out the other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel. And you can check out my ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR. That'll be linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, 1A, and take care. Hello, 2B, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. So here we have the Eight of Cups in reverse, Page of Coins in reverse, the World in reverse, King of Cups in reverse, Six of Wands upright, and the Fool in reverse. And then for the oracle cards, we have exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities, The key to manifesting quickly is to have very high energy levels, and the easiest way to increase them is through physical exercise. Choose a fun and meaningful activity so that you'll look forward to exercising and it becomes its own reward. And then we have 41. So 41 could be an important number for you all. And it says next couple of years. So I actually get the idea that I wouldn't be surprised if many of you have already started on a certain business endeavor and it hasn't worked out. I wonder if some of you are still trying to make a business endeavor work and spirit has been sending you signals that it's time to move on from this. So is this a smart business idea? I would say, like, if you're thinking of continuing or starting a business, the main messaging is no. With the Eight of Cups being reversed, that's indicative traditionally of walking away from a situation. Well, I guess it's like indecision about walking away from it. But I was also getting the upright messaging as well from that card. So I think for a lot of you, you're unsure if this is something you should keep doing or that you should do. And with the King of Cups being reversed, I think a lot of you are very stressed out about the situation too. Like, even if things end up being okay or you find solutions for your situation, I feel that if you're thinking of having your own business, running your own business, I think, running a business isn't for everybody, and you may be very passionate about something or wanting to make more money. I think that's the thing too. I think the motivation here mainly could be about money for a lot of you, wanting money or just wanting to work for yourself and be self-sufficient, I should say. But the cards indicate to me that, ooh, how do I want to explain this? It's almost like the world in reverse can have different meanings, right? And for you all, I think that it can indicate, alongside the other cards here, that, like, karmically, things will happen in life to prevent this business endeavor from continuing, because I do feel like for many of you, it is about the money. For some of you, that may not relate, but for those of you who are in this for the money, Spirit is saying that we'll make sure that this, no offense, but Spirit's like, we'll make sure this doesn't work for you. It's like what goes around comes around. So if you care so much about money, then we'll make it so that this isn't financially, like, available for you to continue on doing. Spirit is, I think, upset with some of you for doing this for the wrong reasons or wanting to do this for the wrong reasons. Like, for even if you just want to be self-sufficient, it's like, okay, I think, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like MLMs or like Bitcoin type stuff. So if any of you are being involved in cryptocurrency or anything that's scammy, like MLM type stuff as well, pyramid schemes, Spirit is saying that karma will come back around to you and that the fool being reversed isn't something that would be long term. Uh, if you receive any financial abundance from this, it won't be long term. And I know Justice card wasn't pulled, but some of you could also be in legal trouble with that as well. So you have to be careful that just because you want to work for yourself, you should do something that you actually are passionate about and that you actually are good at, that you actually like. Like, if you're providing a service, you have to make sure you're good at providing that service, that you're doing the best you can. And I think for some of you, that is just not what the case is here. There's also a little bit of almost, I don't want to say laziness. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people want to work for themselves. People don't want to have to work in the corporate world or work for other people, and people want to set their own hours. But Spirit is saying, that isn't meant for everyone. For some of you, you still could do that. I don't really see for a lot of you, it being meant for that, though. I don't see it being meant, I don't, how do I explain? I don't see your life being meant to be lived in this way where you are self-employed or you are running a small business. I know that sounds very harsh, okay, but I just have to say what Spirit is saying here. And we have the Six of Wands, which is a really good card. I think a lot of you still have the ability to shine in whatever work you do outside of trying to start your own business. or if you're in a business right now, then Spirit is saying, like, you'll be able to still shine in a different business setting and anything outside of this that you are doing or that you want to do. That it will be okay. That you'll still have success, but it won't be in the way of running your own business. It's just the way that it comes through to me. Even I will say though, when I pulled the next couple of years card, this could indicate that you could go back to this later on in the future, like if you have more money or if you have more people who you know who could work for you. Um, so for some of you that may resonate where it's not now, and if you haven't started this business idea, it could be that in the next couple of years it will finally happen. For a lot of you though, I get the sense that starting your own business isn't really truly meant for you. And I'm really sorry to say that, but I gotta be honest, like, I really like I've said it before, I hate it when people are toxic positivity and just, like, tell you what you wanna hear on YouTube with the pick a card readings. I want to be honest from what again, all alleged for entertainment purposes only. You can make your own decisions, of course, like, any legal decisions, any business decisions, it's all up to you. I'm just telling you what I am seeing and sensing and feeling and thinking as it relates to the cards in front of me. Some of you are like, I still really want to do this. And if you do really want to do this, you feel like this is meant for you, then Spirit is saying give it a couple of years and see where you're at. Because I think for a lot of you, if you give it a couple of years, you'll realize that it's not meant for you anyway, to be quite honest. And with the Fool being in reverse, Spirit is saying now is not the time and it might not ever be the time to start on this. And I see it being a lot harder as well than a lot of you think it will be. And also I was saying some of you might be in it for the money, some of you might be in it for the fame and recognition. Like some of you are probably trying to manifest something like being a YouTuber, right? Being a social media creator. Spirit is saying that if your main intentions are to just be like rich and famous through like being a YouTuber, for example, or any social media person, then Spirit is saying that karmically that will not work out in your favor because you don't have the right intentions. Like your guides, I just wouldn't be surprised if in general you feel like your spirit guides are very hard on you. I feel like they expect a lot from you because they know at your core the kind of person you are and what you have to offer, so they don't want for you to mess that up and for you to get in your own way. There's many ways in life they are saying that you can shine. It does not have to be through being famous. It does not have to be through any of that. And if let's say you were to get famous, right? The cards are indicating to me that like any success or any fame that you want on this business endeavor, it shows to me here that you wouldn't even end up enjoying it anyway. Like it sounds glamorous, but that doesn't mean it actually is glamorous. I see a lot of you also, one second. I keep getting distracted by this. Hopefully that should help me concentrate better. It's just, people when they're showering, I can hear it. Okay. Um, but if you end up doing this business idea, I just don't see you even being happy anyway. Or you even, or I think a lot of you could also realize that it's just not meant for you. You're not good at it. Like some people, not everybody's meant to be, for example, in front of the camera or being a YouTuber, being in the limelight. So if you're in a position where you end up getting famous, for example, Spirit's like, I'm gonna show you then what it's like to be famous. I'm just gonna show you all that can happen, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I actually don't like this. So I think a lot of you are thinking about very surface level things as it relates to this business idea. You aren't getting deep or to the root of this. Um, yeah, I don't feel any passion from this. I just feel the sense that you want to be recognized or you want like almost an easier life. Um, to be self-sufficient, but not everybody's able to do that. It's like how some people are able to kind of go off the grid or almost off the grid and do homesteading. And like everybody, like people have their own farm and make their own food, grow their own plants. Literally, not everybody's able to do that or meant to do that. I can tell you, I would well, also because I'm vegan, I want to have like a farm for, sending the animals away. Like, but even if I would have a garden, like I just would not be able to do a garden of crops, a small one. I wouldn't be able to do it. At least at this point in time, I don't think. Like, I would not be able to do it. So for some of you too, you need I'm hearing oh no, I'm hearing spirits say you need a reality check. Like, let's say it is something like that. Let's say you know nothing about growing plants though. Nothing about growing crops and selling crops. But then you cultivate these crops and they turn out awful and you're like, okay, I spent like a year cultivating these crops and they don't even look good and I don't even know who I would sell them to anyway. Spirit's like, it's for your best interest that you don't get started on this now if you haven't, or that you step back before it's too late, before you're too much like in debt. Uh yeah, no. I just see it going wrong or be already having gone wrong. So spirit's like, don't push it if it's already bad things are happening. This is a sign. And with these cards, we are telling you further, this is a sign that this is not meant for you. You're not meant to do this. And I see like really stern looking faces on your guides where they're just like, tried warning them. I was telling you about these other things. They have other options that they had, but they just decided to do this. So your guides are very hard on you, but it's because they expect greatness from you. Also, I think when that kind of stuff happens, it indicates to me that this is a pattern throughout different lifetimes. So I want to be surprised if in at least one or two other past lives, if you believe in that, if you if you were very entrepreneurial or if you were like a mob boss type of thing where it's like always trying to get the easy way out for things and that I know for some of you are like that's not how my business idea would work. It would be intricate, but in terms of again not working under somebody else, like just being very independent, it can lead to stubbornness. So I just see like in the past life if you were like traveling around a lot trying to make money, do things for yourself, but you were motivated by doing something that didn't actually interest you as other factors, right? Whether it was to woo somebody, in a past life so that they could be your partner or make a lot of money, have a lot of land, have a nice house, build your own house. I don't know. But it feels like your guides are like, this is a pattern. If not in this lifetime, at least in other lifetimes that we're seeing you. Also, I'm hearing the phrase beat a dead horse. So it's like if something's not working, you're not giving up on it. You're not stopping because you're thinking because you want it, that means that you need it, or because you want it means that you need to keep going, but you're not really being very logical or rational. You're just like, well, I already made the decision, so I can't stop now. And it's really interesting. And even there can be laziness in that as well. There's like some laziness within the spread. There can be laziness within that as well because it's like, well, I can't change. Can't change. I'm already doing it. I can't shift course. I already put in time and effort. Spirit's like, you need to put on your big person pants and your big person boots, and you need to walk yourself. I see somebody walking and then closing a door behind them, like leaving the situation in the past. Okay. Um, I feel really bad if you chose a stack. I swear, like, I'm not trying to read y'all. I'm just telling you what it's saying again. So I'm sorry, but yeah, I see with the world being in reverse, this is a period where you'll have to like start all over. For some of you, maybe you've spent so much time on this, like for some of you, you've already quit your jobs. So Spirit is like, now's the time for you to get back to square one and to realize what it is you're actually meant to do. A lot of you are closed off to that because of all these other outside factors that have lured you in. Again, like money, fame, anything, right? Attention. Spirit's like, think of the real root reasons why you're drawn to the things you're drawn to. And then also, I want to say something maybe you're like, I really do enjoy, like this business idea really does make me happy. Try to incorporate that into something that's more of a hobby then, or engaging in the content, like being a YouTuber. Maybe you can just be like, I can still vlog every once in a while or do a video every once in a while, but I won't make it my main career idea. Or, you know, I tried homesteading, but I tried making my own jams, but I realized I'm not very good at it, so I'll just make my own homemade jams for myself or for gifts. Like tone it back and think about how you can simplify this idea so that it doesn't have to be turned into a business idea, is the best way I can describe it. You can still incorporate the business idea into your own life, such as by the examples I listed, but don't try to push it or force it into being this big thing that makes you money or that is able to be sustainable for you in the long term. I just don't see that. But it is really interesting because when I am thinking about that next couple of years card, in the next couple of years, I had said earlier, some of you maybe will go back to this, and I think maybe you'll come back to this idea with better intentions in the future, or you'll have more money in the future. I think a lot of you will just be in a lot better of a state of mind in the future, and you'll know a lot more. Like, you'll have a lot more knowledge as it relates to starting a business, or you'll have a lot more expertise for this, such as if you want to start selling on Etsy your own like stuffed animals or like knitted scarves, right? Maybe you're not the best at doing that, and if you hone in on those skills and practice over time, you could be better. For many of you though, I think this is more of a time of over the next couple of years that this business idea will be faded into the background, and you'll already be onto something else that better fits you and better suits you. And it's interesting that we have the exercise card here. I think a lot of you, um, how do I explain this? Like, what can help with stuckness is exercising, being like on the run, not on the run, but running or walking around, hiking could be. I see hiking being good for you, like being out in nature, hiking up a mountain. I'm seeing, and then like with the world in reverse, I think like yeah, hiking up a hill or a mountain and then overlooking everything, it'll put your life into perspective a lot more. That you don't want to have any life to waste, and so I think doing something specifically out in nature, like more moderate intensity or even light intensity, but doing something like hiking specifically, I see being helpful. Even if you're at the gym doing Stairmaster, I think with walking, using your feet in that way, I see being helpful. But being out in nature especially, I see being helpful. And hiking like up a mountain or up a hill on a trail somewhere. I see that helping you clear your mind and making you more able to think. And exercise gets you moving, it removes some of that stagnancy, and it gets you to open your mind up to the possibilities for your life, and then it will help you put into perspective if this business idea is meant for you or not. I think you'll be a lot more realistic. It could just be that also a lot of you aren't being realistic with all this. Like, you have the world in reversal. It's like you expect that things will be perfect as soon as they start, and especially for those of you who already have a business, this indicates that you could build up a clientele, but it will take a long time and a lot more time than I think you have in terms of being able to financially sustain this, which is why I think if you're able to step away from this and give it a couple of years, you'll have a lot more understanding of what you're meant to do and if you're meant to do something else. But all in all, is this a smart business idea? I would say no. If you do already have a business, it could be that you just have an idea that could expand upon your business, and Spirit is saying that you shouldn't do that, that it's not the time to do that, that you already have enough success where you are. For a select few of you, that could resonate as well. Um, I think that's mainly it though, yeah, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, to be for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack, and you can update your comment again in the future, especially in the next couple of years, if there are any updates you would like for us all to read. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out the other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel, and you can check out my ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR. That will be linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, Tubi, and take care. Hello 3C, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The cards here are 3 of coins or 3 of pentacles in reverse, Knight of Swords in reverse, 7 of Swords, Knight of Swords upright, 7 of Swords in reverse, 4 of Swords upright, the Hermit upright, and 9 of Coins upright. So very much Swords energy and Pentacles energy, which is actually really great for business related ideas. So, and then we have the Oracle cards. For you, by the way, there are 2 that came out that I need to put down. Take a divinely guided chance. All positive change and successful ventures involve a degree of risk, and you are ready to follow your divine guidance to new territories. as you leave behind that which is comfortable and familiar but no longer appropriate for you. You can make room for new and more meaningful opportunities. And then positivity, faith, and optimism. You open the doorway to positive experiences and opportunities with your positive expectations and energy. Do not allow negative energy or temporary setbacks to interfere, I think is what it's supposed to say. It says interleer. But it's don't allow them to interfere with the path that you are on. Keep the faith and keep going. And then we have 7. 7 is a powerful number for you all right now. It's associated with Sagittarius energy and Jupiter energy. And so therefore Pisces energy too. And it's time to move forward. Yeah. This is a very, so far, out of at least the first 2 stacks I've gone through, this is the most positive. And it probably will be out of everybody because, first of all, is it a smart business idea? I will say yes, it is. Most definitely it is. And it feels like I have to give kind of a warning though. With the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, as it relates to this business idea that you have, be careful about who you share this business idea with. You know what I just got a visual of as I was saying that? Like you telling somebody your business idea and then them running off and doing it themselves, like taking your idea and incorporating it themselves into their own business or like starting their own business with what you have. Um, so I feel like with the 7 of Swords in reverse, as well, you have to be very careful about who you share this information with about your ideas and what you decide to do. And if any of you need to work with other people in any way, like if you need to hire people or like let's say you have a tax consultant, I think a lot of you along the way will find very sketchy people. Okay. I think what you need to do is with Knight of Swords energy, take action now and start slowly. Okay. Oh god, there's so many messages I have to say all at once. So it's time to move forward. That doesn't mean do everything at once, right? So what Spirit wants you to do is, I was saying this in stack 1 as well, but I guess for you it's more quick, but I feel like a lot will happen at once, but you can't do too much at once. 4 of Swords energy says as well that we have to make sure that you take your time with this, so don't rush. I don't get a sense that there should be urgency or rushing with this, but there should be like a steady pace. So maybe not going slow, but going steady, slow and steady, but going at a steady, moderate pace. And along the way, you'll find people who you may have to work with or you ask for advice or anybody that could be involved in this business. Really make sure you're going into business with the right people if it's not just going to be you, and make sure if you get any help along the way, such as a tax consultant or, I don't know much about businesses, so I don't know who else would help you, but just like people who you need to enlist the help of, especially so that you don't legally get in trouble, right? Or if you need help for promoting yourself, so if you hire somebody to advertise on their platform, or if you, like a marketing team, or if you reach out to somebody to make your logo, right? There's going to be people who, if you need help in the business space, a lot of people aren't going to help you. They're going to actually try to sabotage you. So I have to be really careful about saying that because I see this being a big issue. 7 of Swords energy in reverse and the 4 of Swords upright, even the Hermit upright, it's saying this is something you should mainly do by yourself. Even if you are planning on working by yourself, right? Like if you're just going to be a one-person business owner, small business owner, Spirit is saying there's likely people along the way that will try to sabotage you. It could even just be people who network with you, people in a similar line of work who want for you to fail so that their business can prosper. That's how people think, right? Like if my competitor fails, then I will prosper more. It's like that isn't actually always how it works. And karma can come around to you if you end up doing that. But I get a sense that this should mainly be a solo journey. Any help that you absolutely need. Well, here's the thing. Ooh, here's what I'm getting to. I think a lot of you are very self-sufficient. You're able to learn new things, learn new skills. So if there's any part of starting a business or of adding on to a business that you wouldn't typically know how to do, I think you're very smart, intelligent people. You will be able to figure it out yourself. So try to do things yourself. But if you really feel like you will mess things up or you'll get in trouble if you do things the wrong way, find help, hire somebody. But I'm hearing that you should get more of like in terms of how much it costs or how well known a professional is, going more middle of the road. I think that's where you will be less likely to get screwed over, but it could still happen there as well. But I just get a sense that there are people, could be just one person, but I really get a sense of more than that. People, plural, trying to make sure you fail. So I think you'll need to be very careful about who you interact with, who you work with. And then people outside of that too. Like I was saying, like a friend who you think you can trust, and then they go off and talk about your idea or steal your idea. There's people even in your inner circle who will try to sabotage you, or maybe people just don't believe in your vision. So I see people in your community, like your family, your friends, any of your loved ones, partner, saying that they don't think you can do this thing or have this business idea, that it will not work out for you in your favor. But this is a really good time for you to prove them wrong. We have the take a divinely guided chance. So I think there's a level of risk with this. When I think of swords energy too, swords energy can relay as being very risky, but we still have these pentacles, or the nine of pentacles, I should say, to balance this out, because you should know, this is all legend for entertainment purposes only, but nine of pentacles is quite literally, at the very least, one of the top three best cards I feel to be pulled as it relates to anything business related, career related, or just financial related. This is about having financial abundance, not just financial security, but financial abundance, being very well off. So I see this being something that actually takes off for you, that once it gets started, there will be a lot of momentum. And with that positivity, faith, and optimism, you're one of those people that your mood, your energy affects your work. So then people will be more drawn to your work if there's good energy tied into that. But also, some people are just more lucky like that and work alongside spirit in that way, where if you are in a certain mindset, if you have certain thoughts, even if you don't ever say them out loud, which is why I think a lot of this kind of should be kept to yourself, right? If you have certain thoughts and you just like believe in them flat out, no questioning of it, well, I mean, there's a risk involved, so that doesn't mean you can't question things. You know what I mean, though? Like balancing that out, not just always worrying, but taking a chance and being positive in your decision, doing calculated risk, so knowing that there's risk involved, but doing the best you can to minimize any of the risk, and having any backup plans. I see that being good for you too, and crucial, having any backup plans in case things go wrong or if you need help or assistance. But with proper planning and the proper mindset, spirit wants to work alongside you. They want for this to work out for you. They see this being very fruitful and being financially something that is a good risk to take. Um, like it almost won't seem like it's a risk, because it really, especially if you have less people involved, the less people involved, the less risk. The less people like you employ, less risk involved. I just see it being, this is on your shoulders, so it might be more personal pressure, but I really don't get the sense that should be. I just get a sense of you being very logical, like, okay, here's what I need to do, and here's what I need to do, and here's what I need to do. And if you're like that, if you allow yourself the ability to think, oh, I keep looking at that Four of Swords now. But if you keep allowing yourself to just move step by step instead of doing so much at once, that will help you. And with Four of Swords energy too, that indicates needing like breaks. So I think you will get a lot of creative inspiration and insights and clarity when you are alone and when you are not doing anything. When you are, even like, I see a lot of you in bed, like before you're getting in bed, you probably get a lot of creative thoughts. It might even be hard for some of you to sleep because of that. Sometimes you just have so many ideas. I think you're somebody who you always could come up with solutions for problems, because you also could just come up with so many ideas, all this swords energy. So I see a lot of you like late at night getting a lot of inspiration. You might wake up in the middle of the night or early in the morning and like have a dream. I suggest you get a dream journal as well. Write down anything that you think could be, well, even if you don't think it's meaningful, writing things down would be very important for you. Writing things down in a journal, or a dream journal, or any random thoughts that come into your head, make sure you don't forget them, write them down. I see that being very helpful. I see you having like a planner, a schedule planner, and writing down different dates. I think if you were to have timelines, don't be rushed by timelines, but having timelines put in place could help you as well to get things done. But it also is going to work with spirit, because spirit sees that you written down that timeline. And so spirit will work alongside you to help you along the way to make sure that things get done, to make sure that your vision unfolds. And I just see this being such a good thing for you, so spirit wants it to work. So you should be happy. If you're unhappy about the circumstances, try to find the reasons why. Don't just ignore anything, but um there's a sense that you shouldn't over worry because spirit wants for this to work out for you in such a positive way. They're saying it's time to move forward. So if you have not started on your business idea yet, you're just thinking about it, spirit is saying it's time to actually finally take action, not just do planning, because I think there has been a lot of ideas that you've thought of, but now it's time to well, I will say this. If you have a lot of ideas, don't do all the ideas. Just do some of them. At least for now, right? One or two or some. So spirit wants you to cut off the ideas that aren't in your best interest for right now that maybe you could incorporate later on. But think of the ways in which this business idea can be honed down a bit, honed in, more simplified, I should say. Because there's so many ideas, we want to simplify it at least just a bit more, right? But then once you do that, it will get you less clustered. You'll thank yourself in the future, like, there's less cluster in the future. Like, I don't have to deal with so many things at once and get confused and overwhelmed. So, and it's also just good to start smaller so that you can build upon that. And then other people, like if you are selling a good or a service, people can see that as well, that you're adding more and that you're doing more. But make sure that whatever you're best at is the way this is coming across, that whatever you're the best at, show those talents first, show that product, that service first that you're best at. So then if you're trying to, for example, build up a clientele, people will want to keep coming back because you're so good at this one thing. Maybe you need some more time to increase your expertise levels in certain areas of this business idea, right? So focus especially on the things you already know you're really good at, and I think a lot of you want to, like, this business idea involves many different layers. So then add on to those other layers over time and continue to grow your expertise. And that will keep getting people to come back, but hone in on those things, those talents that you already know you were the best at, instead of throwing a bunch of things together and then it being like, if there's too much going on, you won't be able to express your talents as greatly or show your products as nicely if there's too much to choose from. Like for example, too many products. I feel like there could be quality control issues, maybe you're better at making this thing as opposed to that thing. So that's just, as an example. But it's time to move forward. I think the time is now because there's just a lot of, well, I mean, it says it's time to move forward. So I feel like the time is now to take a risk, to not be worried about the outcome. I think a lot of you are pretty good at this already, but enjoy the journey, not just the outcome. I think you've already thought about how this could play out and how this could be. And how it could work in your favor. And I really do think that if you visualize and if you write down why this thing will work, that's a positive way to manifest for you or to allow something to happen, or it motivates you to work toward your goals and dreams. It just feels like spirit is right there alongside you and they're cheering you on and helping you. I just see them like energetically helping things fall into place. You may not notice that at first because things might be going at a pretty, moderate, maybe even sometimes fast pace, and you're just focused on doing what is necessary. And what happens, it's like, okay, even if you recognize that spirit's helping you, you're just like, okay, I'll just keep the ball rolling. But then I think later on you'll realize, oh, this is how spirit helped me there. When I was doing this, I could tell spirit was helping there. And I see you being very good at promoting yourself, like on social media or elsewhere, like in your community. I see you being able to do that very well, but make sure again to only trust the people you feel divinely drawn to, and the people you feel like won't, break your trust or anything. This feels like something that's also for a lot of you very personal to you. This business idea, it's very personal to like an experience or many experiences you've had. And for some of you, I feel like it could relate to your culture as well. So you could also, what this stack could indicate is that if you have certain politics or a certain, if you're a part of a certain minority community, I feel like some people will send you hate for that. That's also what's being shown here. So you just have to be careful about that, but know that if you're doing what you feel is best for you, and if you are staying true to you, if you're not faltering from what other people are saying in those regards, like the hateful messaging, then Spirit's saying you're gonna be just fine. So try not to be affected too much by any hate you may receive from this. Like, it reminds me of people who make pride shirts, for people on Etsy, and maybe they'll get hate, but or people who have pride flags like on their porches. For some of you, maybe that resonates. I don't know, but that's just an example. So be unafraid of backlash you may receive if you know that what you're doing is in the best interest of you and of other people as well. I feel like this business idea could be very helpful for other people. For some of you too, I wonder if you're thinking of being like a massage therapist or something, opening up your own massage therapy business. I'm seeing that too. Interesting. I don't know why. So if that relates to you, then it's just extra confirmation. That could also be because of Reiki healing as well, because people use massage tables for those. But I just see things working out in your favor and things falling into place very easily. Spirit wants this to happen. If you want to continue having it happen, then they will make sure it happens as well, and they will just work alongside you. I feel like there's something I was going to say though about the Nine of Pentacles, I think. I was talking about how you should enjoy the journey, not just the destination. I actually don't think you should think much about any outcome, because if this is something you want to do long term, then it should be something you don't think about an end goal specifically. You should just focus on almost, I want to say, maintaining it day by day, but that will keep you present and will keep you happy and will remind you every day why this is something you want to do. For those of you who already have a business, this is just indicative that you're on that right path. But yeah, make sure you're careful about anybody else who's trying to work with you. If this business idea involves like merging with another company, for example, I don't see that being a good idea. Anything that involves another company, I would be very, very, very careful of, because I feel like there won't be an equal balance of power, I want to say. Like I just see somebody or a business taking advantage of you in that kind of situation. Uh, but I see that you're doing a really good job, like you yourself, your part that you take in this business endeavor, and that you have a lot of good ideas, and that a lot of these ideas are very intuitively guided. It's part of what spirit is sending you in terms of messaging. So even if it seems like it's out of left field, it might be actually very much, you'll realize it will very much relate to your business idea or what you will be doing career-wise. So have an open mind. I think a lot of you already do, but as long as you continue to have an open mind, I see you having a lot of success, a lot of happiness, and even though the Nine of Pentacles is here, I don't get the sense that you're in this for the money, which is really good, which is also why Spirit wants to work alongside you in this. Because even though it might make you a lot of money, that's not the core reason that you have this business idea. At least it shouldn't be. It should be about, there's this element of potentially helping people in some way. Even if it's not you directly, like, for example, like if you become a massage therapist, deep tissue massaging somebody, even if it's not something like that, if there's a product, but it helps people feel seen and heard, that's just an example, then it's like that can be everything to somebody. So I think you're probably less likely to think about the emotional side of business, which can be good because you need to be very strong and logical to have any business or even business ideas that you want to partake in. But I just see this being very good, very happy and positive, and it feels very light. I don't feel any heaviness with this, so make sure that with your business idea, it shouldn't feel like a burden. If it feels like it's just meant to be part of your career path or your vision for yourself, then hop on that. But I will leave it at that. Thank you so much, 3C, for watching and listening to this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with this deck, and you can update your comment again in the future if there are any updates you would like to provide for us all. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out the other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my YouTube channel. And you can check out my ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR. That will be linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, 3C, and take care. Hello 4D, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The cards pulled here are King of Pentacles in reverse, Judgment in reverse, 10 of Cups, excuse me, 10 of Cups in reverse, 10 of Swords upright, Knight of Staffs or Knight of Wands upright, and the Six of Swords in reverse. And then the Oracle cards here, we have Clearing Debts. Your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial and emotional debts from your life. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. And then we have 46 by the end of the day, so it's very interesting. For a lot of you, I think more than any of the other stacks, this is already like you already have a business that you're running that's already gone off on its feet. Maybe it's been um going on for a while for some of you. Even if it doesn't relate, even if you haven't done this business idea yet, if I talk mainly about people who already have a business, it still applies to you, so just take the messaging and apply it to your situation, okay? But there's major energy here. In terms of if this is a smart business idea, right off the bat, I will say no. And I'll tell you why. It appears that a lot of you are already overworking yourself and you're already doing too much. Also, the cards here can indicate to me that I wonder if a lot of you. Oh, yeah, we do have the clearing debts card. I was gonna say, I wonder if a lot of you are already in debt, so you're wanting to have like a side gig type situation, side business. Uh, which I'm getting from Spirit that if there's a way for you to maybe save more money instead of having to work more, that would be more helpful. Um, even though there is the clearing debts card, it's very the energy is very interesting. I think, or I would say this: if you need to make more money, Spirit is saying it's a better idea, especially financially, for you to take part-time work as opposed to having a side gig. But it's interesting because it feels like a lot of you are already overworking yourself, but I think you'll overwork yourself more if you try to have a side gig because there's a lot to it that a lot of people don't consider. Like having to ship materials, having to travel to and from places, getting legal paperwork done, taxes, having that being involved. So I just think you wouldn't also make enough money for any financial debts to be cleared. So if you're thinking about having a side gig or spending more time on a side gig, I see that being a very financially irresponsible decision. I see Spirit saying that having part-time work through an actual employer would be a lot more suited for you. In the situation, you'll have to not worry as much about taxes, and also I don't see it having to be a long-term thing. If you do a side gig, it might have to be like, you can't just start and stop a side gig if you get legal paperwork involved. And if you do things under the table, I see that being bad too. I know the Justice card isn't pulled here, but a lot of you could very easily get into legal trouble if you don't do things correctly in terms of this business idea that you have or any side gig, whatever it is. And for those of you who already have a business, there's a sense that, yeah, it's like you're already almost doing too much. Spirit wants for you to. Ooh, interesting. Spirit wants you to think about if you already have a business, what got you into having this business idea in the first place? Because I think for a lot of you with the Knight of Wands here, there is a good vision here for what, like, I think a lot of you had high expectations, but you were overly confident in terms of how you thought this would all pan out, but now it's not really going in your favor. And so maybe you're behind on payments and such. So Spirit is saying instead of trying to do too much for your business, you may have to get like part-time work elsewhere, or you may need to ask for a loan. You don't want to go further into debt, but if there's anything you can do, like getting another job, you hear about that all the time, even with, YouTubers, for example. It's like, I know Jarvis Johnson didn't quit his job until he had a lot more or a sufficient enough amount of subscribers and a lot of money that was already in his bank account. and he would do videos a lot, right? So sometimes you need to work really hard in order to get to that point of stability, but spirit is saying that you're not at that point yet. So for some of you, you may just need to have more than one form of employment, and that could be business related, as in self-employment, as well as through another employer. And you may not have as much free time for yourself, which is also why I'm getting the sense of like burnout and exhaustion. So spirit is want this is a really crucial pivotal point right now where it's like, is it worth it to continue on this path, to continue putting money and effort into this business idea? Am I getting enough business by doing this? Am I making enough money? And I think for a lot of you, you'll realize that that isn't the case. Ten of Swords energy is very much about loss. And I think a lot of you, if you have to help pay for family expenses, like I just don't see this being a very smart decision financially. I just see for some of you could really run the risk of like legal troubles. Even if you don't end up in jail or prison, like you could end up paying fines or fees, and that could really rack up and be a lot of money. And then you'll really be in debt. So so unfortunately this isn't a very good business idea in terms of financially. Also, Knight of I don't remember what I said earlier, but Knight of Wands energy generally is about well, I think it was about the more so optimism and the over optimism you have, and I think you have a good vision, but it's not necessarily rooted in reality is what I want to say with the judgment in reverse too. It's like this business idea doesn't seem to be very realistic. It just seems like yeah, you have such high expectations for it. So spirit wants you to be more level-headed and think things through more before you make drastic decisions or do this business idea and think about the whys. And I said this throughout other stacks as well. If you're in it for the money, if you're in it for having more money to pay off debt, Spirit is saying that isn't the way. Some of you maybe think that this is just a way to make more money, but let's say you spend most of the money you make through this business idea, but then again, when it comes to taxes, you don't have enough money to literally file because a lot of times for business owners, you don't get taxed unless you tax yourself and like figure all that out. But if you don't do that, you have to pay in usually around, what is it, 20 to 30, I'll say around 20 to 35% for taxes. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, depending on which, like, for example, in the United States, depending on which state you live in. Uh, and then, so by that point, you can maybe not have enough money because you spent all of it. I think a lot of you aren't good at saving your money anyway. And so I don't think opening up a business or continuing on this business will continue to be a good idea. I see that it would just continue to add to the debt. So I think Spirit is saying that if you have a business, now would be better than later to stop because I think a lot of you are already kind of in a weird situation anyway. And it's a lot easier to stop sooner than later, especially with, I mean, inflation and everything, right? Just things, like I say, money just gets more expensive. Like items, things, everything gets more expensive. So it's better to cut your losses, or I guess I don't know the full terminology or messaging behind that phrase, but maybe, now I'm just confusing myself. But I feel like it's better to stop now. You probably should have, I get the sense that a lot of you should have, if you already have a business, shouldn't have done this in the first place. And maybe before, it would have been fine if you did this business idea, if you just gave yourself more time and if you had more money. Because, people start businesses without having the proper amount of money, and then it's like, why'd you do that? I feel like I hear spirit being like, "Why'd you do that? You shouldn't have been in a rush. Like, you could have had other work, even though it wouldn't have been like ideal. Like, you could have maybe made it work." But I really do feel I can get this sense of this being more something that's part-time or side gig related and potentially something that you'd want to have it be full-time, but I don't see it working out in your favor at all. And I think with this stack too, you're just not really. you don't understand the weight of owning a business fully, and I just think some people aren't good at running businesses, that's completely understandable. It's not meant for everybody, so a lot of you shouldn't force it. And Ten of Cups in reverse too indicates that this isn't something that would actually make you happy. And whether you're good at this business or not, even if it's something that maybe it somehow does help you financially, yeah, I just don't see you being happy, and I feel like you would feel stuck. Like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do now? This is my life. I put like all my life savings into this, that kind of vibe. So Spirit doesn't want for you to be unhappy. They want for you to be happy. And so I know when people think about corporate America or just corporate life or like working for the big man type vibes, I think Spirit is saying that that is still a better alternative than the road a lot of you are going down, or that you will go down if you act upon this business idea. For some of you, maybe you already have a good business, a thriving business. So I'll try to relate the messaging to that. Let's say you already have a business that's up and running, that's doing well. With the Six of Swords being reversed, there does still feel like there's a stagnancy. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be stagnant for quite a while and still in the future potentially lose out on money in that case. And I see that if you try to act too soon on this business decision, like, I just don't see this being a good idea in the grand scheme of things, especially if things are already going well, then throwing this in won't be a good idea. I think you could lose customers or lose clientele in this way, whatever this business idea is that you have in mind if you do this. And I just see there not being much forethought or foreplanning. So then you get yourself into a mess, so you have to unjumble it, and then it takes even longer to unjumble the mess, and then that takes up time and space from actually working on other aspects of your business, so then you inevitably lose out on money or on clientele in that way as well, or you just have to pay more in fees and all that. If there's a sense of wanting to collaborate with other people, I don't get that being a good idea. I'm trying to think about specifically with the judgment in reverse, I just think it could mean people don't have good intentions, but I just think it means that you won't make as much money as you think you would, and if you have to pay money to allow any collaboration to happen, then I just feel like that will be more than any money you receive in this situation. Some of you, if you're thinking about establishing an actual physical store or brick and mortar store, I see that you don't have the funds for that, or that the funds will quickly run out if you do decide to do that. So let's say you want to be a massage therapist, right? I think I said this in stack 3, or I brought up the massage therapist thing, but let's say you want to be a massage therapist. But let's say you want to open up your own massage parlor. I see it not being worth it to do that. Instead, like working for a different massage parlor, working for a spa or a hotel, anywhere where they're hiring, even though you might not make as much as you'd like, or you might not like coworkers or just the clientele that come in. If this is something you really want to do, then you have to be willing to make sacrifices as well. Not everything is always going to be 100% perfect, is the way that's coming across from spirit. Because I think the idea that you have, it just won't necessarily work out or work out in your favor. And I think I just think either way, you'll find flaws in this business idea that I think a lot of you are aware of that are potentials for happening, but you just want to not think about them and you want to set them aside and be like, well, that won't happen to me, or I just don't have to worry about it. But Spirit is saying this is something almost that you kind of should worry about. I think a lot of you don't worry enough, and Spirit's like, you need to be serious. Like, you can't just be positive about everything and think everything's gonna turn out fine, or think that um something's meant for you if Spirit keeps telling you it's not. Spirit doesn't like that. They want for you to not do that. Sorry, my cat is distracting me because he keeps sniffing at my. Hey, don't do that, please, sir. Hey, don't do that, please, sir. Keep sniffing at the. Hey, don't do that, please, sir. He keeps sniffing at the phone card. That me saying that, it's almost like I'm hearing spirits say that to you too, like, hey, please don't do that. And it's like they're kind of tired over. They're like, we keep trying to tell you. We keep trying to tell you. But you kind of keep going, and we just have to kind of try to help you pick up the pieces later on. But yeah, I think for some of you, this business idea does come from some sort of anxiety that you have, that some of you maybe feel like you aren't doing enough with your life, or that you're not as successful as your parents or your siblings are or your friends are. There's a lot of societal pressure that's also read throughout this spread. So Spirit doesn't want you to think about that, about like what society thinks. And also we live in such a do live in a society, as they say, but we honestly we live in a time and place right now where people are always wanting to work, and also people need to always work. And so Spirit is saying to not overdo it, to think smarter, not harder. And I think that can include doing things for a brief moment in time that we don't want to do, such as just getting a part-time job somewhere or taking up a lot of extra shifts, or maybe we don't like our careers but we can't leave yet, right? Spirit is saying you have to be patient through those times, and that sometimes times are going to be tough, but like this business idea that you have won't make that any better. It will just make everything more complicated, more confusing. And I see you being a lot more sad. And we don't want you to be sad. We want for you to be happy. And so we can focus on clearing these debts. I think, but yeah, I'm just getting the sense of not like having your own business idea. I think doing what others have laid out, like having a part-time job or working with somebody else, feels better right now. And for those of you who need to maybe close down a business or stop operations, I see it being difficult now. But I see sometime in the future things should hopefully return to a more normal state. Hopefully. I don't I'm not gonna be honest, I don't see things being like great right now, but if you aren't stubborn and you really face yourself and are like, hey, if this isn't working, then I need to shut things down or stop. If you do that now, it will cause a lot less pain than in the future. And it's interesting how we have the by the end of the day card. It could be that from this reading, now by the end of the day, you'll get more clarity about your situation. I think that could easily be what it means, that like by the end of the day, you'll know the decision you have to make as it relates to this business idea, and you'll say like yes or no. I think that's mainly the messaging here. It could just be also for maybe a select few of you that by the end of the day you get a random like message from somebody or some random advice or insight from somebody that's able to help you out. And if it feels genuine, like people are trying to help you through this transition, then that could be important. But yeah, I had to end it by saying with the Six of Swords in reverse, like don't try to force anything, don't try to enact change that doesn't need to happen. Um But also don't be stagnant. Some of you, it's about being stagnant right now. Some of you, it's more so about you want change to happen so bad, like abrupt change, sudden change. But this isn't the time for that, or the place, or the mindset, or the actual business idea for that. Spirit is saying change can happen, but this isn't the way that it has to be, or the thing that it has to be. So I will leave it at that though. Thank you so much 4D for watching and listening to this video. I'm sorry if it was a little bit harsh, but I don't like to be toxic positivity. I like to be honest about what the cards are saying. If you like the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if this deck resonates with you at all, and you can provide any updates in the future if there are any updates you would like for us all to read. You can subscribe to my channel, it helps me out a lot. You can check out the other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my YouTube channel, and you can check out my ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR, that will be linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, 4D, and take care.